Welcome to another podcast. My name is Glenn Moore and I am blessed to have back with me Neil Carter, who, as some of you will know, has already been here 3 times already and given me and given us, in fact, some wonderful information in 3 separate interviews. If you haven't seen any of those, and if Neil is new to you, then I urge you to look at the previous interviews, especially the first one, because that's an introduction to Neil, and you'll find the links to that in the description below. So Neil has already come up with a lot of wonderful information that I think will have value for most people watching, at least I hope so. And as they always say, there's always more. So, Neil, welcome back. Thanks very much for joining me again.
Well, thank you for having me back, Glenn. It's lovely to be back.
It's great to have you back.
It's been a while since we did the last one, though, hasn't it?
It is, hasn't it? Yeah.
It's been a week. I know having a few
yeah,
bits of
you've been having a few bits and things done, haven't you?
A few bits and things, sort of treatment done, but yeah, it's been a few weeks, hasn't it?
Right.
Been a while since we did the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be back. Yeah, it's really nice. Thanks for asking me back.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, it's
well, I think you've got so much to give, and it's like I think the feedback so far on what we've done so far has been very positive, and I think people are interested to know more. So thank you all for that. Yeah. Just as a quick reminder for people who are watching that don't know Neil and have never heard of him or seen him before, Neil is a starseed from the Andromeda galaxy, who has incarnated here in a human body. His mission is largely to observe, and he's chosen a particularly auspicious time, you might say, as humanity here and the planet itself transits from 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. And this is obviously a subject matter that we are covering with Neil and have covered already to some extent. So I want to expand on that today with your permission, Neil.
Right.
And I'd like to kick off with the following. There's been a lot of talk, and I think we've even touched upon it a little bit, about the new energy coming onto the planet. And there have also been people saying, well, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I've felt certain dizziness in the morning. I've felt, sort of a little headachy. And it seems a lot of other people are having these or similar symptoms as well, aches and pains where normally they wouldn't expect, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I understand that the energy coming onto the planet potentially, if not actually, has a lot to do with that. So can you speak to that?
I mean, even myself, I've felt these sort of symptoms of this new energy that's coming in. And as you quite rightly said there, Glenn, people have been experiencing sort of heart palpitations or headaches or even buzzing in the ears. Aches and pains. So all of that is normal. It's a normal sort of symptom of what is happening at the moment with this new energy flooding the planet. And it's coming from 2 sources really.
Right.
One being the sun itself, which is projecting this energy, this light encoded energy into the planet. And also it's coming from source itself, so from the non-physical realm, from spirit realm, they are projecting this energy into the planet also. So as this energy is flooding into the planet, that is having an effect or a direct effect on the physiology of everyone. We're in the process of the DNA being upgraded slightly. So we're raising our vibration. Just about everybody on the planet has heard this now. We're raising our vibration, and we're raising our level of consciousness. So part of that is the upgrade to the body, and the body has to catch up to this
makes sense
conscious upliftment.
So it's not just mental.
It's
physical as well.
It's physical as well,
and
yeah.
Or emotional.
So the body's playing a little bit of catch up with this raising of consciousness. So as this energy comes in, you're going to feel that it's tangible, and you're going to feel it through these sort of symptoms. So it's nothing to worry about. It's quite normal, but it's been carefully orchestrated as well, because they don't want too much energy to come into the planet, because it can burn people out. So it's quite important to ground yourself and allow that energy to flow through the body, and to ground through yourself, so that you don't feel too bad with it. But like I say, it is being tempered slightly. They don't want people, don't want it to have a detrimental effect on people. So that's been carefully monitored. But yeah, it's a common thing. People are feeling these symptoms now.
And some people are saying that they're having problems sleeping, or they're having impressions through the dream state. I think you yourself were saying that you've had some interesting dreams recently.
Well, this is all part and parcel.
This is all part and parcel.
Yeah. This is all part and parcel of what is happening, and this new energy is going to activate a lot of that. It's going to activate a lot of dreams in people. It's going to stimulate that part of the physical brain as well, that is accessing slightly more of the spectrum of what is out there now. So yeah, it's part and parcel of it now. But yeah, I've had just recently a couple of healing sessions, as you know. I spoke to you on the phone or whatever it was, and I was taken out of my body and given a couple of healing sessions just recently. As you know, I'm having some dental treatment that is going to last the whole year. I've chosen at some point to experience this. It's painful, so I asked for some energy healing, and they very kindly came in and took me out of my body, and I remember it was like coming out of a sort of anaesthetic. But as I came to, I was in a totally different room, and I believe now at the time it was on board a ship.
Right.
It was very dim lighting. I could see some pale blue lighting around the floor, but there was nothing else in the room. And I was on a reclined sort of chair or seat type thing, and as I came to, it was like coming out of an anaesthetic. I could feel my voice being used.
Wow.
So my voice was vibrating as I'm speaking now. You can feel the vibrations. I could feel my lips moving, and I could hear a language coming out of it, but I don't know what language was.
Wow.
But simultaneously,
not a language you were familiar with.
No, it's totally different language. It was strange because I could actually experience that happening with my mouth and my voice, but within myself I could sort of think about what was happening, and at the same time this was all happening simultaneously. From the outside, seeing myself in this chair and seeing my mouth moving and hearing the voice coming out of my mouth. So all sort of three perspectives was happening simultaneously. And this language was coming out, and I just thought to myself, what on earth is this language? what on earth am I speaking? And because at one moment I just thought, is this Welsh? Because it was just so out there, so bizarre. Well, bizarre to me. But I could get all three perspectives simultaneously, and then this lasted for maybe about half a minute, and then I could feel myself just drifting back off to sleep. And then the next minute I woke up, and just before I was drifting back off to sleep, I could hear somebody saying, "Don't worry, it's light language."
Oh, okay.
So that's what it was, but I didn't know at the time, and then obviously I woke up, and I felt really energized from it. Felt really good, and it just felt like somebody had sort of switched me off and switched me back on again.
So was it like
a bit of a reboot type?
Yeah, was it like a sound healing? Using
your
own voice.
Yeah. But again, it's part of this light encoded energy. But I was going through this treatment at the time, and I needed some healing. It was very, very painful,
right?
And it was quite invasive, and I needed some healing at that time, and that's what they decided to do. So I'm very, very grateful to them. I always thank them. So yeah, so hopefully that's going to continue now, because this treatment's going to go on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
that it will last.
Yeah.
And just to clarify for people watching who may not have seen your previous interviews, by they you mean your own Star, your own Star Nation people?
Yeah, my Star Nation people and my team, obviously.
Right.
Have like everybody does. Everybody has their own spirit team, and if you're a Starseed, you may be connected to other extraterrestrial family members or teams. So I'm really blessed. I've got a really good team, and Lacturn, who is my contact from my extraterrestrial family, he's amazing, really, really good. I'm so blessed he's on my team. But he was in the room at that time when that was happening.
Right.
But I couldn't actually see him, but I felt his presence. I know what his vibration feels like now. So it was pretty obvious that he was in the room at the time.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's great to have that support, isn't it? I mean,
it is,
really
yeah.
is.
And it's all about trusting in it, I think. Having trust in the team, having trust in them. If you need something, if you need support, is to have that trust and to ask, and that's the main thing. And everybody should do it. Ask your team for help if you need it. They're always there waiting. So
I was going to ask you, I mean, for people watching, if people if some people don't have any experience of, or even acknowledging that they may have spirit guides or a spirit team, as you call it, is there some advice you can give them? Is there a way to, to take the first step that you would, would offer to people? Could you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think the first step is understanding that you do have a team.
Yeah.
We all come into this experience with support back in the non-physical, whether it be angels, archangels, spirit guides, family members that have passed over. So the support is there prior to you coming in here. So I think the first step is understanding that you do have a team, and then taking the time to sit and try and connect with them, because they're always flowing to you. They're always trying to connect to you. They're always guiding you from behind the scenes. So it's just that taking the time out to sit in meditation and having that quiet time, and just letting the world just be quiet for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and just allowing their energy to flow in. And that's the first step in making that connection. And you will feel that over time with repeated meditation. You'll start to feel that energy of your team coming close. And it's just looking for little signs, because sometimes it can give you little signs, whether it just be a tune on the radio that you like, or we talk about feathers and things like that, or just tiny little things that are very subtle,
Yeah.
but you have to watch out for them. But that's your team there, just guiding you, just letting you know that they're there. Or even sometimes, looking at digital clocks, if you're getting double figures during the daytime,
Yes.
11:11,
Yeah.
09:09, and things like that. These are all little indicators
Yeah.
that your team is there.
Yeah, I get those all the time in the car, and
Sure,
not just in the car. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I always say thank you, Spirit Guides. Fantastic. They're keeping me sweet, so to speak.
Yeah. But
just-
the veil now is becoming thinner and thinner as we go through
Yeah.
this process. It's getting thinner and thinner.
Feels
so,
that way.
People will start to feel more connected to the higher selves and their spirit teams.
Mm.
So that's really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, do you think it helps us also to align with our higher self, or is that a contradiction in terms? In other words, to be in that place where we're operating more from the place of our higher self, rather than from the more sort of domestic, day-to-day personality, if you see what I mean, or is that part of the?
Well, we're all living. We've all got to function in this experience. This is why we came in, is to have this experience and to enjoy it. And we're supposed to, learn certain lessons here. But we should be here to enjoy it first and foremost. But yeah, you can try and be the best version of yourself that you can be by tapping into that higher self, and allow that to come out into the experience, what we think is a physical experience.
Yeah.
Allowing your higher self to be more part of your daily life. Be more loving, be more kind, be more mindful.
Yeah.
That's the higher self version of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because actually I read something online this morning about humans having superpowers, and the reason that we don't access these superpowers, we humans, is because we don't have faith or believe in them, or that the sort of things that have been ridiculed in the past. You can't do that, you can't do that.
Sure.
What we've been, taught and told to believe.
Yeah.
But that's not true, is it? I mean, and how do you see it from your perspective? I mean,
we go through this process, don't we, of human life, where we get bombarded and programmed with a lot of these belief systems that don't really serve us, and a lot of them we take on board from other people or past generations that have been passed forward.
Yeah.
We're coming into this sort of new age now, this new awareness where we start to look at a lot of this stuff, and we see that a lot of it is nonsense.
Yes.
Yes. And it doesn't serve us at all. So. Right. This is part of this process, is getting rid of a lot of this baggage and getting rid of a lot of these old patterns and these old belief systems that really don't serve anymore. What was the first bit of your question?
I forgot.
I was thinking about other things.
Well, no, it's this idea that humans have superpowers.
That's the bit, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously it depends how you define superpowers.
Yeah, are you talking about telepathy and stuff like
I
that?
guess so, but the ability to be and do anything that we can create or manifest. In other words, It's not limited by our belief system. It's not limited by what we've been told. You can't do this, you can't do that. You can't fly, for example.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I mean, I'm not suggesting we all go out and flap our wings, flap our arms. That's not it. But we can fly, right?
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, like we say, we're having a physical, what we deem to be a physical experience here. So, is it relevant for us to have some of these attributes just yet? Not really.
Yeah.
Maybe later on down the line, which is where we're heading. In the future, but at the moment we're in this process of upgrading our awareness and consciousness. So a lot of those things will come later down the line, when we're in that sort of state, where we can manifest things like that, where we'll be fully telepathic, we will be able to manifest things a lot quicker. So a lot of that will come down the line, but at the moment it's not relevant for us.
So it's part of the transition that we're going through, but of course part of that transition is also changing our belief to actually have faith in the possibility or the potential of it, rather than
we still have to move through this process, and we have to, like I said, get rid of a lot of all that old sort of energy and patterns and beliefs, and because we still have people that worship religions and things like that, and we still have this paradigm in a lot of people on this planet. So we're not quite ready for that just yet.
I get it. But
later on down the line, that will come.
And what about your Star Nation, your people, Neil? I mean, what do they have that we humans in our current situation, let's say, don't have? I mean, is there anything you can share with us with that? I mean, obviously they live very differently, as we've already covered, but
we've just been talking about that, they have abilities obviously that we don't have.
Right.
For
example?
They're able to manifest things instantaneously, pretty much. Wow. And because they're in that oneness with all that is. So they understand that creating something is just a thought, because everything is created from thought.
Beautiful.
So their ability to manifest things can happen instantaneously for them. So there's things like that. So it's, I'm trying to think of what else it would be different. So it's just they can travel around the cosmos and things like that without a spaceship if needs be. They can project their consciousness. So these are all like superpower type things to us.
I guess so.
We can only sort of dream about these things in dream state when we go to bed at night time. We can move our consciousness and move into the astral realm if we wish, if we can practice doing that. But for them, it's a natural thing to do. It's a natural ability for them. But like I say, for us, it would be some kind of superpower, wouldn't it? But we'll get there with the manifesting. It's just that we seem to manifest a lot of the things that we don't want at the moment, and we need to get into that idea of manifesting what we do want. Get into the sort of routine and the idea of knowing that everything is connected, and then manifesting those things, and then allowing them to come in without putting blocks in the way. Because this is the thing, we have all these belief systems like we just talked about, and patterns of energy that put blocks in the way of manifesting a lot of this stuff that we want.
And these are like energetic blocks, are they? Yeah.
So this process will see us getting rid of a lot of that, and the manifestation of things will be a lot easier. And we'll be able to manifest things what we want quicker.
Brilliant. I may have asked you this before, so forgive me if I did, but have your people been through already the sort of the third dimensional reality, if you like, the reality that we're going through? And if so, I mean, do they, would they be sympathetic or empathetic towards us, what we're going through? In other words, have they seen it and gone through it themselves, or were they already at a higher level, as it were?
Yeah, but they originate from a very, very ancient grey civilization in the universe. So they've not gone through the same kind of three-dimensional reality that we're experiencing here. This is
Okay.
quite unique on planet Earth. So no, they haven't really gone through the same kind of strife, should I say, and the troubles of
the challenges.
the challenges that we've experienced here, which is one of the reasons why it was my and I should say our sort of choice for me to incarnate in, to experience this, because we're trying to understand
I get it.
what it is to go through this kind of experience and this human reality, because there's a lot of it we've never experienced and we don't understand it, especially the emotionality of it. We don't have that emotional sort of range and spectrum that humans have. So that's part and parcel of me being here, is to observe and experience a lot of that, so that I can translate that back for the rest of us. It's a learning process for all of us. They're learning from it, I'm learning from it, and hopefully people at home are learning from it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an interesting incarnation.
Do they are they interested in anything in particular? I mean, like how we communicate, how we breathe, how we travel.
Well, they understand all of that.
Okay,
they understand all of that. They do get a global overview of the planet and humans and what we are, but it's at this sort of grassroots sort of level of what it is to be human. That
right. So more of the essence of it.
The essence of it. What it is to be
That's
human.
Great.
And what it feels to be human, with all these emotions running wild, and experience this pain. I've obviously at some point I've chosen to experience this procedure and what it is to feel pain like this and such like. So it's having that experience of this particular reality of what it is to be human, and to live this experience as we go through this upliftment of consciousness now. It's a really fantastic, interesting time. It's like winning the lottery.
Absolutely.
It is. It is amazing. All the the sort of we call it bad stuff, don't we? But it's just stuff there that is signposting people to where they want to go, to where they need to be.
Sure.
It's showing people what they don't want, because most people don't really know what they do want, but more often they will know what they don't want.
Yes.
So a lot of this stuff now is coming to the surface. Is this light floods into the planet. It's highlighting a lot of the stuff that is being hidden, and people can see it for what it is, and making the choice that I don't want that. That's not what we want for this planet. This is not what we want for this society.
Right.
This is not what we want for humans and for individuals also. So it gives them that signpost to go in a totally different direction.
Right.
So as we go through this process, this is going to have this splitting effect, as we know.
Sure.
Whether people will choose to move closer to the light, but there will be others that won't choose that, and will remain down the path of choosing hardship and suffering and lack of freedom and such like. But that is their choice at a soul level, and there's no right or wrong in which is chosen. Like I say, it's that where their soul needs to be at any given moment, and they might need to go around on this merry-go-round of learning and suffering for a little longer. But there's there's nothing right or wrong in that. There's no elitism in that. The people that are going towards the light, and nobody will be lost.
And it's not too late. They can still make the choice.
Sure. Yeah. We've still got a way to go through this process. But kind of all the trains are coming into the train station at the moment, and people are starting to board the train which they would prefer to get on.
Yeah. Choose your platform carefully.
Yeah. Choosing what you want. Choosing what you want for yourself, and obviously, as a collective, you will naturally migrate to those people and that sort of reality where you are most attracted to. But like I said, nobody's lost in this process.
No, that's great.
No matter
which way we go.
What happens,
A couple of questions. You mentioned souls. Is there a qualitative difference between the human soul and your people's soul? If that's not a silly question.
Well, we're all connected.
We're all the same soul.
We're all connected. We all come from source.
Yeah.
So there is no the idea that we're all separated is just that illusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we are all part of all that is. So even if you're an extraterrestrial, you're a blade of grass, you're a chair, you're a bird, you're a sofa. That is all that is flows through that. That is the creation of all that is.
Right.
And so everything is connected.
Yeah.
And
beautifully expressed.
Where you are on this sort of evolutionary sort of ladder, so to speak, is just the amount of awareness you have of that, all that is. And that's where we're moving through. Is to having more awareness that everything is connected.
Yeah.
And, taking on board that consciousness.
Yeah. You've anticipated my next question in a way because...
Sorry.
No, don't. I'm sorry. It's telepathy.
I didn't look at your sheet, I'm sorry.
It wasn't on the sheet. No, seriously. No, I wanted to ask you, I mean, from your perspective as an observer, okay, how do you think we're doing? How's humanity doing with this?
Fantastic.
Really? Go on.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look at all the... I mean, if you look at history, look where we've come through history.
Yeah.
And, we got to the sort of 2012 point, and everybody was saying, this is the end of the world and this, that, and we're still here. The 2020 point, we've come through the, all these various
portals,
stages and portals, the Lionsgate portals and these convergences, and we've gone through all these markers, and so we're forging ahead with this. There is no stopping this. It is inevitable now. There is so much energy pushing this forward that it's inevitable that this is going to happen.
And what about the dark forces? I mean, if I can call them that, the negative regressives, as you call them. I mean, can they still do anything to stop or?
Well, they're still active and they're still trying to put the mockers on everything
to disrupt the process.
Yeah, disrupt the process. Yeah, and try to sort of drag people back into this three-dimensional matrix. But as we raise our consciousness and your awareness, you become a lot more enlightened to that. But it's not going to stop them from trying.
Sure.
There's a lot that is still going to happen along the way. That there's going to be bumps in the road, so to speak.
So why don't they see it as inevitable? Is it because that's not in their mindset, or is it because...
Well, they do. They do know it's inevitable.
Okay, but they're still playing the game, right? If I can say that.
But they're so self-serving.
Yeah, service to self.
Yeah. That they still keep going with it because
it's like a tunnel vision. It's like that's their
level of consciousness.
Yeah, I get it.
Because they don't have that connection, and they don't have that level of empathy and that level of consciousness for other people. So, yeah, they're going to continue with their sort of
shenanigans.
Well, their program of things, but like I said, it's not going to end well for them.
Right. Yeah.
They will be exactly in the position where they need to be, which will be in that reality that is still self-serving for them, while everybody else will shift away from that. And it will become less and less and less and less until it will be no longer visible and no longer part of the reality. But it's
I don't think we've actually spoken too much about sort of karma in the past, but I mean, do you believe they will have to experience or go through an experience of what they've actually, brought upon others here? In other words, the harms and the sort of the things that they've, engineered and in some cases destroyed or whatever. Is that a process they'll need to go through?
Yeah, I mean they're stuck in that karmic energy now, aren't they? This is all karma that they've created.
They've created themselves, right?
And that's the reality that they are stuck in. That's the reality they're experiencing, and because it's all about control for them, energetic control over wealth and control over abundance and all that kind of stuff. So they're stuck in that fear mentality of not being enough, and as I say, it's never enough for them. They want total control, or they want control over everything, and but that's self-deprecating for them. It's self-destructive. But as they see this ascension process happening, they don't have the reach. When people start to raise their conscious and vibration, they don't have the reach into that because the two can't exist together.
Right.
Those two vibrations cannot come together. Can't exist together. So this is the splitting of that paradigm. This matrix. So
you're saying they can't live in the new energy that's coming onto the planet. The more powerful it is, the more the vibration raises, if you like. It's like they're not on the same frequency, so there's a disconnect and there's a disharmony.
Yeah, sure. It's like watching your television channels. They will still exist on one channel while you're on the other channel.
Right. Yeah.
And the two can't coexist together. It's just totally different frequencies. And this is part of the splitting that will happen. They will become less and less and less in view of it, and the effects of what they're doing will become less until eventually the split will be so far apart that they will be non-existent.
Which, of course, sort of emphasises, doesn't it, that how important, or the more aligned we are with the higher energies, the more we can, in a sense, leave these people behind. I mean, it's like we don't need them. We're not in the same house anymore, basically. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
And we can see this speeding up already. It's getting, time seems to be speeding up. Excuse me. That's the energy and the consciousness moving quicker and decoding the matrix quicker. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the fifth dimension, or fourth density, as I call it, Neil. I'd like to talk about love. How important is love in the next... It's intrinsic, isn't it? It's intrinsic to all of us, because we are love. We are beings of light and love. It would be... love
and
is
how
not
is
just,
that expressed?
Love is not just a feeling, is it?
No.
Love is a state of being. So that's what we will become more of. We will be in that state of being more. So it's a becoming into that state of being,
right?
Being more in that state of love, and because source is love. And that's what flows through everything. Love flows through everything that is source. That's how what is create out. We create everything out of love. So it becomes a state of being, and it will just be natural. So in those dimensions, in those frequencies. I mean, as humans, we like to give everything a label, don't we? And numbers. This is the third dimension, the fourth dimension. But it's just a different state of being, like the extraterrestrials. That is their state of being, and love is intrinsic into that state of being. Like my family, my ET family, they are in a state of love and compassion for each other, and for the planet where they live, and for us going through this process here. So all these levels of dimensions, it's just where you are at in that particular state of awareness or consciousness.
I get that,
and that understanding that everything is connected and everything is source.
As you say, we have to give a label to everything and anything, don't we? It's the 3D world.
my civilization, my people, my ET sort of family, they don't have labels for anything. They don't need labels. They're in a state of being. So,
and they communicate telepathically.
They're a very telepathic sort of society. They don't need to use verbal language. As do most other ETs. There are a lot of ETs that can use verbal language, but more often than not, it's all telepathic, because there's a lot more structure to telepathic communication. There's a lot more conveyed in that telepathic communication, from the feelings, the vibration. Telepathic communication is pretty much.
And less cause for misunderstanding or misinterpretation.
Absolutely,
makes total sense, doesn't it? Absolutely. I wanted to ask you again also a little bit about how the human body is affected by the upgrade, let's call it, to this higher vibration that we're talking about. Some people are talking about our body, or the human body, moving from carbon to crystalline, or even a rainbow body. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, as we've talked about, as we change our vibration and we move through this process of raising our consciousness, like I've just said, the state of being changes. So obviously, as a result of that, the physical body is going to change as well. But that will happen when it's relevant, as we increase our consciousness and our state of awareness. Then there's going to be physical attributes that come along with that, which is going to be less dense to the physical body. It's going to be able to hold a lot more information. The DNA is going to be more active. A lot more of the DNA mechanism is going to be activated, and the amount of energy that the body can hold is going to be increased. So there's going to be physical attributes that's going to come along with this upliftment of consciousness. But it's a process. It's a steady process, isn't it? A lot of these ETs have been out there in the cosmos for millions of years. So it's an evolutionary sort of process, isn't it? But yeah, that will come. That will come as we go down this road.
Right.
The body will have many changes. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Wow. We've covered so much ground.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Bear in mind that as we're going to be meeting extraterrestrials very soon.
Ah, yes.
Contact, is pretty much on the horizon. Now, a lot of these extraterrestrials are quite high vibrational beings.
Yeah.
So we just need to be in that state of being as well, where we're going to be able to handle the energy from a lot of these beings.
Right. It's not just their appearance, of course.
Not just their appearance, yes, some of them are going to be sort of far, far different than what we can imagine. But their energy and their vibration is going to be quite high. So we need to accept that we need to raise our conscious and vibrations as well, just to allow ourselves not to be too overwhelmed when contact is made.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's something to think about and just be ready for is when this contact is made, that these beings are going to be in a slightly more higher vibrational state than us.
Sure.
So, but yeah, they will be considerate when that contact is made, and a lot of them will be more human-esque
sure. More
for initial contact.
Yeah.
But we're not too far away from that happening now, as this disclosure process goes ahead. So, and a lot of this light energy that's flooding into the planet as well is increasing as we go through this year, especially. So there's potential for possibly some more solar energy. So, yeah. It's looking good.
There's a lineup of, I think, 6, I don't know if you heard of this, 6 or 7 planets. 3 days from now, Friday. What day is it today? Wednesday. So the 28th. That's Friday, isn't it?
Okay.
Which people are talking about and how this could impact us. I don't know if you have any thoughts or information on that. Apparently it's just, I think, a physical thing that you can see in the sky that they're lined up. I don't think they are.
They're not astronomically aligned.
Yes, quite.
When you look at them from planet Earth, they look as though they're in alignment, but astronomically they're not really in alignment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's creates an energy that you can tap into, and if you so wish, meditate and look at opening up a portal of energy for yourself and bring that energy in. Just like the Lion's Gate sort of portals, it's an opportunity to tap into that energy and bring that forward.
Do you think this is the process is also taking us to a place where, we can be more creative in a sort of in our own unique way, rather than sort of have to rely on other people to help us create things? I mean, this is what the energy seems to be lending or pushing us towards.
Yeah.
And any thoughts or advice on that?
Well, we're all on this, an individual journey and a collective journey, aren't we? So what any individual sort of resonates can have an effect on others around them and the collective. So, be careful what you
wish for. Yeah, of course, as always.
But it's happening on an individual level as well as a collective.
Yeah,
and it's about getting in touch with your inner self, your higher self, and being the best version of yourself that you can, and that will have a effect throughout the collective
Right.
consciousness as well on the planet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. So much to look forward to.
Definitely.
Isn't
Definitely.
there?
Yeah, there is.
I just feel it, you know, it's just
yes.
amazing.
Yes. And it's
really, you know, to...
it's exciting.
It is very
It's
exciting.
yeah. I find it really exciting.
Yeah.
It's, you know, every day that, you know, it just seems amazing to me that
Right. Yeah.
we're experiencing this.
We
We're
are.
right in the
Absolutely.
the eye of it now. You know, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad I chose to come here and that I'm alive at this, you know what I mean, at this point, and also to have met you and to have connected with you, Neil.
Well, it was meant to be at some point.
It was clearly meant to be.
Yeah.
Thanks again for all your knowledge and wisdom and your sharing.
Pleasure. Thank you, Glenn.
And yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. So, I mean, I'm out of words. I don't know what to say.
Already?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this just feels like a nice point to close. And unless you want to add anything, you're very welcome. Anything you want to share.
I just listen to your...
Yeah, you just listen to my ending banter here.
Yeah.
No, yeah, just feel so blessed by our connection and by what you've given us so far, and hopefully there'll be more. Thank you all for watching, and as I said, I'm lost for words. I feel great, and
let's keep the momentum going.
Yeah, let's keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
And every reason to be optimistic for all of you watching, and I certainly am, and Neil certainly is. So let's,
Thank you very much.
Welcome it all with love and with faith and belief in a much better future to come. Thank you all again for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.